welcome back. So we're continuing on with this build. Going to go ahead and open up some parts that we received. So here we have some Basherqueen drive shafts, which look like these. The new carbon fiber drive shafts that are built for speed runs, super light, but says they're not made for drag racing or bashing. I do everything with my speed cars, from drag racing to bashing to speed runs. We're going to go ahead and give these things a try, throw them in this build since this is the new build. So we will be installing these as well. Since they just announced those things yesterday, we're going to go ahead and give them a shot. See what happens. And then right now we're going to try to install these things, which I ordered off eBay from the Basherqueen. Which is this part number right here, BQNA320500946. That's a long part number. Carbon fiber side skirts, 1/7 scale Arrma Street Basher. So we're going to give these things a try. Now what I noticed about these versus the aluminum ones right off the bat is there's no groove cut into it to support the side of the body versus the aluminum ones that I run in all the other ones. So these are just basically a side extension, and I guess you can just tape the body to the sides versus it having a groove cut into it like the aluminum ones. But let's go ahead and open these things up and install them and see how they fit. I'm kind of curious on how they fit because the aluminum ones you have to cut the battery tray like I did so that these bolt right in place of the side skirt, which is bolts in place of this thing. So what I do, you can see the two bolts that are close together, and of course she has them tapered, countersunk. So if you notice, they line up. Now this won't bolt to the chassis, and that's why I modified the side skirt or that battery tray the way I modified it. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's get this thing on its side. So right here, this bolts to the receiver box or the little side extension and the battery tray. And you should be able to use the factory screws to screw this right in place of this little side skirt. And this is why when you flip a motor around, you have to modify that rear battery tray. And the reason I modify the receiver box. So this one should go right in place just like that. Now in theory, you could leave the plastic thing there, but I pull it off. I think if you leave it there, this will probably mount up flush or maybe hang down. This is the way I do it with all the side skirt extensions. But I was hoping that this had a had the groove, the slot cut into it to support the body so that I didn't have to tape it. But there has to be a reason that the Basherqueen didn't put the slot in it. Where these are called side skirts versus the other ones are called body lock retainers. The aluminum ones through like RC Speed Monster and those kind of people. There's a few companies on eBay that make those body locking, infraction body locking things. So here's why I have to modify the battery tray and the receiver box to do it the way I do it. When flipping a long can motor around, what I love to call the hot dog motor, the Dodger dog. If you don't modify the battery tray, you can't bolt up a side skirt because there's nothing to bolt to. Which I learned on doing Limit Due and all my other speed cars. So, right here, in order to bolt this up, it has to use these 3 bolts and these 2 bolts off the receiver box. So if you just remove the battery tray and don't cut it up to allow the motor to go in here, and I mean, you can leave this part here, but it becomes, when you start putting your gears in and you start adjusting the motor, if your gear's too tall, it'll actually hit the plastic on the ESC mount. And that's why I chop it out right here. And then right here, by leaving this edge, you see how I shaved the edge down here and made this flush? I'll cut that bolt down, I'll cut that bolt down, and I'll make this as flush as possible so that I could do either my 3-pack here, or I can mount up the Typhon fans right here to blow on the side to get some air flow this way into here to cool this motor. You could mount it on top, but the problem with mounting it on top is they get in the way of my wires. So on a speed build, I like to mount them on the side and do it this way so that I can get my wires nice and flat and tucked low profile in case you're using the factory limitless body. We're using a GT body, so it gives us more room. I know, who is that makes a top mount for this? I'll think of it in a minute. But I used it on the Thunder truck. I used his mount for the top, which happened to be a YouTuber and an eBay seller, which I didn't even know he made parts. But you can see how clean the side skirts are. But as you see, we have now, with that trimmed the way it is, it allows me to tape the body around these side skirts and I don't have air blowing in on an Infraction and a GT body like this. By covering the side here, we're covering up all this air that can just get trapped in here and cause turbulence and cause the body to lift and all kinds of funny things. So that's why I like the side skirts, except my aluminum ones are I think a little bit longer, and they have a groove cut into it to where I can slip the body right in and tape it and hold it down. Or I can force it down with this, and sitting in that groove, it doesn't allow the side to flap. But on hers, I'll just throw a little tape there, a little tape there, tape there, tape there. At least I have something to tape to, and now I don't have air going on the inside. And once I add her center brace and all her other little carbon fiber bits to lighten this thing up, as you see, we do have the carbon fiber drive shafts, which I'm very curious about because he talked about shaving this brace to allow this to go in there. So and I'll probably just get rid of this bracket right here to run this. Now I'm hoping on this thin brace, because this is an aftermarket brace, it doesn't have the groove cut into it because it's not real fat. It's a thinner brace. So I'm hoping with that brace that I'm clear enough to run this and that it'll clear. But worst case is I'll shave it a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna have to on this aluminum brace, but we'll see, because it is shaved a little bit there and shaved a little bit there. But I can always take the sander and shave it a little bit more in those two spots to clear the fat drive shaft. And then of course the front, which I might have to shave that one as well. Even though this aluminum brace is cut out for it, it might not be enough. Yeah, it looks like it's not enough. So Roz went ahead and removed these braces. I crashed too much to remove them, so I'm going to shave them and see if we can get them to work and how much shaving it's going to be. We'll find out, right? So, I think that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and pull off this rear and this bearing thing retainer, because I put the bearing thing in here because I was going to run the stock drive shafts for now, because I have some other drive shafts coming, but I want to try the Roz Schifrin carbon fiber drive shafts, and shout out to them. Whoever he has shipping them out, literally got them to me in one day in California. So he announced them yesterday, I bought them, and they came in today. So let me get this piece removed. I just didn't think they were going to be here this fast. I am waiting for a motor mount setup as well. This should be here soon. It's just coming from the UK. So, but let me get this transmission mount loosened up, and then we're going to try to fit these drive shafts, because I'm kind of curious on it, on how it's going to work. Yeah, this bit's a little bent from working on all my fifth scales. Okay, one more bolt, so we'll have to hold the motor. All right, so that's loosely in there. Let's grab these drive shafts and see how bad they hit. I'm gonna try the front one first. And they hit really bad. Ooh, that's gonna have to shave a lot. He said a little shaving, but that's pretty much shaving the whole bracket off. Wow. That is a lot, I'll tell you that. Well, let's get our Dremel set up with some sanding disc and see if we can get this shaved down enough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to shave it down enough. I might just not run those drive shafts. He says that you don't need these supports, but I'm just not as skilled as these speed runners. So for me, I really need some support braces, because I do crash a lot. I'm not a professional speed runner by any means. So I'm going to grab this sanding disc. That way it'll give me a round groove that I can go ahead and cut out for this drive shaft, hopefully. If not, I think I have a sanding stone that's a little smaller, and we'll try that. But let me try this real quick. So let's get this stuff out of here. That's a lot of aluminum. See if that's enough. Not even close. Wow. These messy. So I can see that right there I need to shave a lot. So I'm going to put a carbide diamond cutting bit on it next. This thing does not come in the kit. This is something I bought separately for my Dremel, because those aren't working that well. which is fine if you have a carbon fiber chassis, but a factory chassis, there's too much flex in it. I mean, he says you can, you know, rely on your upper brace, but I don't know. I just don't trust it. So basically, this is already cut out like that, but his carbon drive shaft, I got to take it all the way down to the bottom because it basically hits this corner and hits this corner on these aluminum braces off eBay. So we'll be right back. All right, I'm going to show you the best way. I ended up going back to a cutting disc and basically creating a groove. Now, you can see how much I've taken off. I have been, you can see how much material is left. So even on an impact, I think it'll break there. But I'm going to let this cool down and we're going to install it and see if I finally got clearance. Because it's way too hot. Alright, so I've marked the side skirts on where I want to cut it. I'm basically cutting it below the line. Straight as possible. I've already marked the top for my body mount holes so that I can put it in the same position. And we are pretty good there and pretty good there. go. That is going to be close enough to be able to paint the body. Any other adjustments I can do after I've already painted it. Any other fitting issues I have. So we're going to prep for paint now. So we'll be right back.